We're back.
Hello, hello.
Hey, I'm Bess Dickson with what? With verbal control issues at the moment. I'm Bess. I'm a real estate professional in Dallas, Texas.
And I'm Mark Liesner, and I'm a lending professional for the whole state of Texas.
And together we are Keys and Gears, and we're thrilled to share with you the keys to get your real estate and the gears behind those keys to get you there.
Like and subscribe below. Get
Right?
get an alert when we share our
What a
wisdom
great
and
ask.
knowledge, right?
If you don't
so
ask,
please do that.
there you go. You don't get
What's
it.
our topic today, Bess?
Well, so speaking of asking, this is this week's question in the coffee line that Bess got on the regular. It seems like it came out of nowhere, which always makes me wonder if this is like a top TikTok or something.
I'm sure it is. I'm sure it is.
So I filed it away, and today I serve it up to you. Great
Okay,
lender.
all right.
All right.
Hit me with it.
All right. Is it true that the way you figure, a quick way to figure out how much you can afford house buying, like your buying power,
Buying power, right.
is equal to 2.5 to 3 times your gross annual income? So, like, if you take your income and you multiply it three times,
three.
and it equals, I don't know, it equals $600,000, that is, in fact, what you can afford.
I would categorize that as silliness.
No kidding. So only TikTok worthy.
Yes.
I don't know.
It's. I mean, think about it. If you make $100,000 gross, you can only afford a $300,000 house. Yeah, no, you can afford more than that. It's more complicated than that, and like with many things in today's world, people try to find a quick fix, right? Something that's
Quick answer or whatever.
Quick answer, quick fixes. This is a question of how much do you pay every month in credit cards and in student loans and car payments, any kind of loan that you have. Combine that with a new house that you're looking at, with a new house payment, all that together, what percentage of that eats up your income? So if you have $5,000 income, but your new house payment is $2,500, then you're at a 50% debt to income ratio. We've talked about that in previous podcasts. Your debt to income ratio controls your ability to repay the mortgage. So a lender will look at, they look at your gross monthly income and they divide your expenses into it, as far as loans go. And so just saying 3 times your income is silly, because it's not. You could have, $10,000 in other loans every month, and you can't afford a house, period, even if you're making $100,000 a year.
I think those are so you could be a credit card millionaire,
yeah,
and not be able to afford a house.
Or you could have a Ferrari that's costing you $2,000 a month in a payment,
and it blows
right?
up your DTI, your debt to income ratio.
Debt to income ratio is how it's so to say, hey, I can afford this house because I make this kind of money. No, it doesn't work that way. So it's silliness to boil it down to that level. It's very TikTok. It's very 15 seconds. Oh, I can afford this. In most cases, you're underselling it. You're actually underestimating how much house you can afford. Most people that come to me can afford way more house than they're comfortable with.
Because there's other factors that go into affordability of a house.
Yeah,
utilities.
And it's home ownership costs money, so you got to have reserves. So you got to be able to, if you're smart with your money, you understand that you may qualify for more. So let's be conservative.
Mm-hmm.
Let's calculate things on, if you're a couple, let's calculate it on one income versus both incomes and see what kind of house you can buy with that. And if that doesn't buy you the kind of house you want, then let's add the spouse's income in and you can afford more.
That's a smart way to do that.
So that way, if one of you loses their job, you can still live in your house if you only qualify on one person's income.
Avoid the panic.
So just coming up with formulas like that to figure out how much you owe is how much you can afford, your buying power is silly to me, and it's not helping you. Just do an application. If you're thinking about buying a house or the next bigger house, do an application. It takes 15 minutes to do an application. It's not like it takes a lot of your time to come up with a customized plan for your situation.
Well, then, real quick, follow-up question then.
Yeah.
A bonus question. But if I fill out an application, it's going to affect my credit.
Right. It affects your credit for 3 months, and then your credit score comes right back up, and it affects your score by 5 to 10 points. It's not the end of the world.
So it's not a deal breaker.
Now, if your credit is marginal to begin with, yes, it's going to affect you.
But in 90 days, it resuscitates.
Right.
Nice.
So again, home buying process, people make it more complicated than it is, but this is too simple. Too simple. This is simplifying it to the point where it's really
ridiculous.
Silly. Yeah, it's really silly to say, okay, I make $100,000, all I can afford is by the way, $300,000 houses in the Dallas Metroplex are there, but they're hard to come by, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you really want to live in the city, you're talking way more than you can't, and people wouldn't be buying houses if it was the case that 3 times your income equals your house, what you can afford. So
there you go. That's a very good illustrator of the apparent. So, and speaking of illustrator of the apparent, the picture that I brought to share with you this week is a tricky one. Is a tricky. Well, we went the wrong way.
Not that one.
Oh, here we go.
Sorry. Here we go.
We outproduced our sweet producer. Sorry.
Yes. All the pictures.
All right. So I thought a little bit of trickery.
Yes.
Here we go. Actually, here we go. This is like a TikTok counter. And that is, it's all about the woo and the wow and not the substance. So this was listed on MLS as Carrera marble countertops.
Oh, boy.
Okay, so mental picture, what are you thinking of? I'm thinking Architectural Digest, and it's this big, beautiful slab and serenity, and like there's angels up above.
Right.
And,
beautiful
Carrera
light
is
fixtures.
sexy.
Yes,
yeah, okay.
Yes.
Different than what we're seeing here. We are seeing, so what is that? Did they lie? Technically, they did not lie.
Right.
This is Carrera marble, but it is floor tiles used on the countertop. So if we go back, you can see what they had to do is it's smart. It's a good budget way of doing it. Yeah. And that is they put a 1x2 wood edge, and then painted it the same color as the cabinets, so that it would be a nice
because the side of a floor tile is not finished.
Well, and it's also
it's very skinny.
Very skinny.
Yeah.
Very, very skinny.
Yeah.
It was an interesting play. This was a flip, this home, and it was listed. Actually, we were just talking about $300,000. Great segue. Like I didn't realize how good we did. It was listed, in fact, at $300,000.
And I have to say that I agree it shouldn't have been listed as that. But when you're talking the lower price points, this is what you run into, because it's just too expensive otherwise to do it. And it's kind of what we did in the 90s, right? With houses, is this kind of fix. And so it's interesting to see that it's still around, that people are still doing it this way.
I was surprised. I haven't seen this in a long time.
No, in a long time. I was going to say,
Mm-hmm.
I saw this all the time when I was in the business, and it was a quick fix, and it looked good. In today's world, it doesn't look good anymore because we've had too much HGTV.
Our standards are higher.
Yeah.
Yes, our standards are higher. It's not acceptable.
Yeah.
Is it still possible to get wow on a budget for countertops?
Right.
Yes.
Right. What are some good options when you're price point wise? Do you know what would be a better option, having done this, to have a solid countertop?
Right. Well, Formica is coming back in, especially for a $300,000 price point. Formica is an acceptable counter. So I would have totally kept the marble backsplash. Why not? Because obviously they got a good deal on it somewhere.
Do they have better designs now in Formica?
Yes.
Like not the standard, what I'm thinking of Formica is like ugly.
It's not your 70s your mom's 70s Formica countertop anymore. No. It's really... Or another would be to talk to my trades guys and see who's got leftovers from other projects.
Right.
And
kind of piece it together.
And see if we can make it fit.
Yeah.
Another great is good old Butcher Block.
Yeah.
Butcher Block is much more affordable. can be stained all different colors,
Right.
and it actually comes in all different designs now.
And you can refinish it too,
Yes.
right? Whereas
Mhm.
this is actually not very user friendly for a kitchen. Is I mean,
Oh
you
my
got to be
gosh,
careful with Carrera
That's why
marble.
you usually only see it in high-end homes. People don't like
Yes.
to talk about it because everybody
Yes.
fantasizes about it.
Hmm.
But it is marble is a very porous stone,
Yes.
and so it like one of its favorite food groups to eat and keep is red wine.
Yes.
Oh my gosh!
Or anything with acid.
Anything
Right?
with acid,
Oh my gosh.
vinegars.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I even had, was it, maybe it was that where I had a house where a guy was always reading his newspaper on it, and the newspaper ink rubbed off on the
No, wait, no,
in the
that's new
same
to me.
place. So he was always, every morning he had his newspaper right, and you could tell. You could tell
So
it
a
was
newsprint
slightly
shadow.
off color. It was like, oh my gosh. Anyway, yeah. So that's just a sidebar. Not the first choice for a kitchen in materials. Not the first choice in finishing for a kitchen.
Great.
The hardware is nice.
Eh,
Kitchen cabinets are, you know,
see, and I'd rather have
nondescript.
Yeah. Maybe. Yeah. There you go. Well,
Interesting.
stumble over my tongue. There's all sorts of things we could
always
say.
something, you know. Again, when you have a real estate professional at your side, it makes a difference because you can point these things out and say, hey, we got to subtract some for this. Because when you want to sell this house, you probably are not going to get away with keeping this.
Right? Because as you move up
Price
price
point wise,
points,
as you're appreciating, the house appreciates
expectations.
every year,
Right.
right?
So
The
expectation of finish out goes up too.
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
that might be a different day, a
Oh,
different topic
that's
for a different day.
it's all related.
It's all
So,
related. There you
thank
go.
you very much for joining us today on Keys and Gears. We look forward to seeing you again, and like and describe down below, and you know, let's
Or we'll
see.
describe. You comment.
Oh, I mean, that's right.
That's right.
That's right. Like,
I got your
like,
back.
and subscribe. That's what I meant. All right. See you guys next time.
Love you, mean it.